Hey, what's going on, everybody? Stick around. We're going to get started here in just a few minutes. We are back with some Train Sim World 5. I figured I would showcase some of the routes that we have not tried out yet in this stream. So stick around. We're going to be getting started here in just a few minutes. Enjoy the music in the meantime, everybody. Alrighty, guys, I would say we should go ahead and get started. So what is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Welcome back, everybody, to Train Sim World 5. How are we all doing here? Did you guys miss the Train Sim World content? Because I definitely missed streaming this game for you guys. I've actually been playing this game a little bit this morning here, because I was looking at some of the routes that I had not actually gotten around to trying out, and I actually found one that is pretty chill, and it's not really as reliant on me doing things as some of the other ones are. So if we go to our trains, go to rail journeys, you guys can see, check this one out. That's the Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr. So it's regional and commuter operations. This is one of the early ones, and wait till you see how many routes there are on this. So there's the S-Bahn driver, BR425. Look at how many routes there are here. Look at how many routes there are. Look at that. Now, I would count how many routes there are here, but now I'm not going to do that. But look at that. So there's those routes. And then we have the S-Bahn driver, the BR422, which also has quite a few routes to do as well, and some of these ones are actually pretty long. Like some of these you can see are 38 minutes, 37 minutes. There might be one that's like 39 minutes as well, but a lot of these are really long. But I feel like these would be nice. Eventually it's going to get repetitive and we'll try a different route too, but that's what this stream's all about today. I figured today we would just chill, give you guys some updates, talking about what we're going to do here in terms of streams as well, because I know I've been giving you guys a lot of updates on what we're going to be doing with regards to the streams, but still, I figured it would be a good opportunity for me to talk to you guys a little bit, just give you guys some updates on how I've been recently, what's been going on, all that kind of fun stuff as well. So with that said, let's go ahead and shut off the music here, and we are on snow time, which is it's a snowy route here as well. So without further ado, let's get started with this mission on Train Sim World 5. Let's frickin' go, everybody. So happy Wednesday, everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day here. Like I said, I've been playing this game for a little while today. And look at that, we are starting in snow. I did the previous route, as you guys saw, I did do the previous route. So, oh, I can already unlock the doors. Nice. Let's load passengers. And I'll turn up the game. I'll turn up the game sound a little bit so that way we could talk here. Yeah, Eli. What up, Eli? And what up, Ulti? Welcome both of you guys. Eli, did you see the new BeamNG update? We finally have a school bus that we could use. I'm excited for that. That is really cool. I've been driving around that school bus quite a bit. But yeah, we're just chilling out here. We're just going to wait until 30 after this minute so that way we can get going here. Now, I am expecting there to be a little bit of issues with getting traction on this route, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine either way. The passengers are loaded. We can close the door. I'm going to go ahead and close the door. Now, let me make sure master controller is at 0. Our reverser is already set to forward, so we're good. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a little bit of throttle here. And get us rolling out of here for this stream here. Now, I was gonna start the stream right where we were at. Let's get our lights on here so we can actually see what we're doing. Now, here's the thing. I was going to start the stream with me just effectively starting right at this point, but I wanted to talk to you guys briefly for a moment. So, all right, we have enough throttle, so let's go ahead and speed up a little bit. But yeah, this is sort of a last minute stream for me. I didn't intend on doing a stream, switching around my streams here, but we're going to do, I promise you guys, this is going to be the last time I'm moving that farming sim stream. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing the farming sim. But today, I was going to start a stream at 45 after anyway. Now, I'm doing this specific train. Oh, crap, yeah. Holy crap, we might have to restart. Yeah, let me restart real quick. Yeah, we're getting main slippage. We're getting major wheel slip because the tracks are icy. I was not anticipating that, so we're gonna have to start braking. I'm not gonna get up to too much speed going forward. For this mission, I'm not gonna go too fast. I'm gonna give myself plenty of time to brake. So that'll be a good opportunity for us to get everything going here. So once all the passengers are loaded, I'm just going to close the door. And we'll just wait. And we'll try not to brake too intensely going forward. Because I can tell you what. Alright, let's lock our doors. I was not anticipating there to be that many issues. Just waiting, just trying to come to a stop there. We were doing 30 miles an hour still, and there was no way I was going to stop in time. So I think maybe we'll go up to like 50. We'll get up the speed to 50. So like maybe 50 miles an hour or something, or 40. And we'll just hold that so that way we can actually have a decent chance of actually freaking stopping. Yeah, I feel like that will be our best option here, is if I'm not too worried about being late too much. I actually got a gold star here. on the last one, on the last route that I did. So I have to remember to try not to give it too much braking. Throttle is fine, but I can't give it too much braking, otherwise we'll get wheel slip, and that is not ideal. Yeah, we'll go to about 50. I like driving this train a lot just because of the fact that this train... Yeah, we'll go minimum braking. Let's just see. Yeah, I think... How much braking can we do before we get wheel slip? Okay. I would feel comfortable doing about stage 5 braking. I feel most comfortable doing at most stage 5 braking. So let's do that. And that will still get us slowed down relatively quickly as well. Yeah, stage 5 braking gets the job done. I'm not worried about that. Okay. We'll go stage 2 braking. Stage 3 braking now will work. We'll be a little bit behind schedule, but that's fine. I don't mind being a little bit behind schedule. Being a little bit behind schedule doesn't penalize me, I've noticed, so... Alright. And if we're not... we're not penalized if we're not too accurate either. In terms of the stopping distance. In real life, they don't force you to stop as quick. They don't have like exact spots where you need to stop. There's not like any markers or anything, so I'm not too worried about not being able to have enough time to stop. But I'll tell you what, I will definitely need to focus a lot on... I'll definitely need to focus on trying to get this train stopped without issue. Alright. Here we go. We'll go level 6 throttle. That should be good. And we have 2.5 miles to go before we need to start slowing down again. Again, I don't really mind if we're behind schedule a little bit on these routes. These routes are relatively quick anyways. It looks like we'll be going about 60 miles an hour. There. I'll just let it... We'll let it coast right there. But yeah, I like this train because the throttle and brake are basically combined on this train. You don't have to worry about I don't have to worry about going to a different set of keys because the keys that are on here are going to be essentially exactly the same. But yeah, we're doing good here so far. We just had to restart there because I was going a bit too fast and I couldn't brake in time. But yeah, welcome in everybody. Welcome to the stream. We are here on Train Sim World 5. We're doing some train simming right now because why the hell not? We'll go up to 75 miles an hour. Screw it. I don't want to go too fast though. Just because of the fact that... Just because I want to be able to actually have a chance at slowing down. So we'll cruise at about 70. And we'll start braking with about 4,000 feet left. Or, here, let's go minimal braking. Let's start with minimal braking. Actually, we'll let this hill slow us down a little bit. Alright. Yeah, we will be behind schedule a little bit, but I don't really care. I'm not gonna lie, this route kind of feels like I'm in the TV show SnowRunner. Or not SnowRunner, Snowpiercer. If you guys have seen Snowpiercer, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Kind of like kind of like the whole dystopian. It kind of looks all dystopian, as if like the Earth is no longer livable. because we were trying to fix climate change. All right. We'll be about a minute late, but again, I'm not worried about being on time with this. I'm still going to finish it, and I'm still going to do really good with it anyways, so I don't really care if we're behind schedule. Like I said, in real life, these trains aren't expected to be on time to the second. In fact, we'll probably be about a minute and a half behind schedule. But again, these trains are not expected to be on time. Oh, we're gonna nail it. We're gonna stop perfectly. Nice. Yeah, we stopped perfectly right there. That was some great stopping that we had there. But yeah, while we're waiting, let's take a look at how our train looks from the outside. Yeah, we are running about, I believe, 8 cars. We can check. Yeah, 8 cars. We're running 8 cars here. Okay. 2.3 miles, and then we got to stop again. We get... Oh yeah, so we can't go faster than about throttle level 6 before we get wheel slips, so yeah, we gotta be careful with wheel slip. Because we can't give it too much throttle, otherwise we're gonna start getting wheel slip. If we put too much throttle too early, we're just gonna get a bunch of wheel slippage. And that is not what we're looking for when it comes to what we're doing here. We're not looking for some wheel slip. But we're making progress either way. We'll cruise at about 70. There we go. 70 miles an hour seems like a pretty safe speed to be going at through this area. But yeah, this mission kind of feels like dystopian almost. All right. Again, we'll start slowing down at maybe like 4,000. Yeah, let's start getting a little bit of braking happening. Yeah, if we start slowing down now, we should be able to make it to that station not going too quick. Okay, let's start slowing down a bit more. Because like I said, as long as we're within a few minutes of the time, we're not going to get penalized too much, I would imagine. Alright. Let's start slowing down a bit more. Braking level 6. That'll slow us down enough to where we're not getting wheel slip. So yeah, we'll be about a minute behind schedule, but again, I know I'm repeating myself a lot here, but regardless, as long as we're a few minutes here, within a couple minutes of the expected time, we should be fine. All right. Yeah, we're about a minute behind schedule, but that's fine. So, plans for the rest of the week here. By the way, who's Diego Batista? I have no idea. It was a random guy who was messing with me on the last Riverside Tow episode. Basically just being stupid. If you saw Eli, if you saw that episode yesterday, that I did the other day. I didn't do it yesterday because I wasn't on the server and streamed yesterday. But if you saw that episode that I did the other day, you'll see exactly what I was having to deal with. You watched it yesterday? Yeah, it was. Yeah, you saw exactly what I was having to deal with there. Just people being dumb. Yeah. But still, it was just him being dumb. He was there to troll. He ended up getting banned, as you saw later on in the stream. But you saw how many times I had to call staff on him. 5 on public servers being 5 on public servers. Yep, pretty much. That's pretty much what it was. But hey, it's still a great server. At least here, they take the violent interactions very seriously. Where there's a rule on that server. There's a rule on Riverside Roleplay where if you want to be violent towards someone, you gotta have an interaction with the person you want to be violent towards, and it needs to stay passive for at least 2 minutes before you can pull out any guns or be violent. And up until the other day, I thought that that DOT was exempt from violent scenes because we're a passive organization. But as it turns out, according to staff, we're not. Which is kind of dumb. Because we're not even allowed to have firearms. As DOT, we are not allowed to have firearms while on duty. Off duty is another story, but on duty? Well, on duty, you definitely need... but on duty, you cannot have firearms, which is... It's kind of counterintuitive. It kind of counteracts what people are doing, because we're not exempt from any sort of violent scenes. But, so unless we are, we need to have firearms because people are just going to be stupid. And we're about 2 minutes behind schedule, but that's because we're having to stop so frequently. And I can never really get up to speed. But yeah, on the L1 of DOT is working with the Civ directors to see if we can't figure out a solution to that, because man, yeah, that I was on last night as well, and I had to report, and I had to deal with being held at gunpoint at least 4 or 5 times in the entire 2.5 hours I was on as DOT. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous why I had to deal with that shit. Absolutely ridiculous. But it is what it is. It's a public server at the end of the day. People are going to go on there. People are going to troll. There's not much you can do. There's not much I can do. And I have been considering applying for the staff team so that way I can help with that crap. But I haven't gotten around to get my application in for the staff team. So we're about 2 minutes behind schedule. And I know the game is lagging. My apologies. My computer likes to be weird whenever I'm doing a stream like that. Eventually it'll fix itself, but right now it's just it's having a moment. In fact, actually, let me see if I do this. Did you ever try? Oh yeah, I've tried whitelisted servers. And those were fine. whitelisted servers were fine, but personally, 5M servers, everything was just so slow. I mean, yeah, I like to have action, but if it's realistic. So, for example, not being violent towards DOT, unless you have an absolute valid reason for it, which there's no valid reason to be violent towards a DOT employee. If I was a cop, then yeah, I can understand why. Because civs like to be violent towards cops on every interaction. That I can understand. But being violent towards a tow driver just because your vehicle is getting towed, that does not make any sense to me. Realistically, okay, I gotta throttle back because we're getting wheel slip. Realistically, you're not going to be violent towards tow. I mean, yeah, you're going to be mad that your vehicle is getting towed, but you got to stay calm, ask where you can get the vehicle from, and just not worry about it, and just not think about pulling weapons, because if you're just going to pull weapons on DOT, then that's not going to make them want to help you anymore. But DOT, like every other organization in every other business, they have a right to refuse service if they have a legitimate reason for it. And having past violent interactions with a person, that would be enough for them to that would be a valid reason to put them on a do not service list, basically. Oh crap, we're speeding. I did not realize the speed limit was going to slow down. But yeah, I've tried private 5M servers, but those are not really my speed. They're too slow. I was on PGN for a while, quite a while ago, and what I noticed there was you very rarely got calls. There was no reason to have any sort of calls. You weren't really getting any sort of like major calls or anything. I mean, yes, I can understand that. So it's a whitelisted server. Oh, whitelisted server that retunes the LA reality. Seems to be real nice. But now here's the other thing with me. The other thing with me is I'm fine with realism, but I don't want it to get to a point where it's so realistic that that it just takes the fun away from the server. Like I'm fine with servers. I'm fine with being a part of realistic servers. But if it gets to the point where it's so realistic that you're forgetting you're playing a game and you're basically just playing a virtual life simulator, then yeah, no thanks. I'm not interested in that. Because I get onto the server to get away from real life, and just like a lot of other people. And I mean, if that's your forte, then by all means, go for it. But for me, being a part of a hyper-realistic 5M server that basically takes the fun out of playing 5M, that's not my thing. Like, people come here to have fun. They don't come here to basically roleplay everything you would do outside of the server. We're about 2 minutes behind schedule, but again, I don't care. That'll give us... We'll still be getting some good timetables. What's the rest of our timetable like? Oh, unload passengers. Out of service. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we're unloading passengers. Now we're out of service. So this is our last stop right here. Some servers forget that we are playing a game, not real life. Exactly. Oh, hey, what up, Nathan? The argument of before, but is more realistic for making major changes is bad because, for example, being able to kill people with no interaction is more realistic, but not fun because people are people. Exactly. That's exactly what my point is when I was talking to you about that. And I was talking earlier about the whole violent RP against Toadlings. I mean, yeah, it may happen in real life, but I don't see it happening on enough essentially to constitute allowing it on a 5M server. There's just no reason for it. Okay, set the passenger lights to off. Oh, crap, off. With the train out of service, move it to the depot for the night. Obey all signal and speed indications. Blake, yeah, you are completely right there. You're completely right there, Nathan. Like, it's realistic to justify a change to the server. Like, if you're going to make a big change like that to a server, it needs to be a change that would benefit the server and make it better. Not just because, it's realistic. And I've talked about this a lot on stream recently because I don't really like, I pinged Civ managers about that again, still no response. Also, hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm pretty good. But yeah, Nathan, like I was saying, like I told you in DMs last night, like I told you in DMs last night, I was on last night, and I was on last night, and man, I had to deal with so much violence as Toe. It was low key super unrealistic. It was super unrealistic what was going on last night. I wish I had been streaming it, because if I had been streaming it, you would have been able to see it, but I have all sorts of clips. All right. Off. Out. Remove the reverser key. Thank you for completing this run. Let's see how you performed. I'm gonna dock some points right at the end there, because I did not notice the speed limit was gonna drop. Oh, we actually still did pretty good. We got a gold medal. That one's pretty good. We did pretty good there. Yeah, not bad. All right. Let's go back to the main menu real quick, because I want to see what the next mission here that we have to do is. I think it's a normal one. All right, rail journeys. That. Yep. The next one here is operate a fast eastbound S1 service from Duisburg. Twains, exactly. So let's go with that. Let's do the S1 Express. That one will be one where we can go really fast. And hopefully it's not snowing. Yeah, hopefully it's not going to snow. Okay, good. Welcome to Duisburg. This is a limited stopping eastbound S-Bahn service. You'll be taking the train all the way to Bochum. Okay. Let's unlock the right doors. Yeah, Nathan, I was talking about that earlier. I was talking to Eli about how you were working with the Civ managers to see about what we could do about that, because it's just getting, at this point, it's just starting to get annoying. All right, let's look at our schedule. How we got to do here. So apply power, stop location. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stops. We got 5 stops right here. All right, I'm gonna lock the doors because everyone's loaded. This is an early. Oh no, this is an evening start, so I'm gonna keep my cab lights on. There are some people that think 5M is GTA Online. Exactly. If you think the game is GTA Online, then maybe you should be playing GTA Online. They're probably playing because they want to play with they want to be shitlords with the real world vehicles. I think that's what it is. That would be my guess. My guess would be that it's just people wanting to be shitlords, but be able to drive the real world vehicles, and that's not possible in GTA Online. But either way, hopefully we can get something worked out with the civ managers to prevent that from being a further issue. Oh crap, we're speeding. Oh, you can go up to 93 miles an hour. Yeah, we could probably get up to a decent amount of speed there. I won't go too fast though. I like driving this train though. This train is really quick. Look at this. 90 miles an hour in this train. That is ridiculous how fast we're going right now in this train. I put near 700 hours in GTA 5 between story and online, and nearly double that in the 5M. Oh yeah, I probably put at least 3 times as much time, or probably even 5 times as much time into 5M as I've done in GTA 5. I've barely played GTA 5 just by itself. Yeah, let's see how fast we're going. Holy crap, yeah, look how fast we're going. 93 miles an hour, so that's about 150 kilometers an hour. Yeah, a tad bit of speed. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just a little bit of speed there. Just a teeny bit. Yeah, a little bit of speed. I will have to start getting on the brakes here pretty soon though, because our first stop is coming up here. Yeah, let me I'll start minimal braking. We should be on time. Or very, very minimally behind schedule. We're still doing 85 miles an hour. Holy crap. That is absolutely wild. Maybe I'll do a Twitch stream tonight while I'm on doing tow. There, I'll go about 60 miles an hour. That should be... Let's speed up actually just a bit. There we go. That should be enough. We might still be a little bit behind schedule, but that's fine. I'm not too worried about being 100% on time. We're still gonna get... We're still gonna get quite a few action points. In fact, actually, we are actually gonna be on time. Yeah, we're gonna be 100% on time here. I shouldn't have been worried about being late, because yeah, we're gonna definitely be on time here. I'm gonna go level 5 braking though. I'll make a timer for when you started the toaster and when someone failed it. Oh yeah, it happened pretty quickly. It happened pretty early on in the stream when things started happening. Oh, look at that. Right on time. Nice. Yeah, 1 second into the stream is when someone starts fail RPing. Oh, God. No, actually, it was probably, if I remember correctly, it was probably like 15 or 20 minutes into the stream where people started being stupid. I had someone do /me Pop's tired of me earlier. Oh. Yeah, gotta love it. Yeah, maybe in a little bit, maybe I'll wrap up around 2 o'clock here and I'll get on and do some towing, and I'll probably switch over to Twitch and do some towing for a little bit. Either that or I'll just have metal running, so that way if somebody does decide to be an idiot and do some sketchy stuff, I'll just get staff on them. Level 7 throttle, no wheel slip, let's go. Yeah, I towed someone's vehicle last night, Nathan, and almost immediately when I went back to Legion, because I was in Legion at the time it happened, when I towed this guy's vehicle, I took it to our lot like usual, because it was parked illegally, of course, and then I came back, and after that, that's the guy whose vehicle I took came up to me, immediately was like, "Hey, where'd you take my car?" And he immediately had a weapon out as well. He wasn't aiming it, but shortly after when I said no, I wasn't going to tell him the information because he had a weapon out, he started aiming at me as like, tell me where you took the vehicle or it's not going to end well for you, or something along those lines. I believe I have a clip on it from Metal that shows exactly what happens. I discovered what I can do with Metal with regards to it. I haven't even gotten to the construction and tow parts of the new SOP, but those are going to be the 2 longest parts. Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. I'm going to be honest with you, we were kind of talking, me and Nathan were kind of talking about it at one point, guys, and we were talking about if we have to allow guns as DOT due to all the violence we have to deal with, Nathan is not looking forward to having to write a frickin' SOP for firearms training and all of that, and when you can use your firearm and what kind of firearms would even be allowed in the first place. He's 100% not looking forward to it, to having to write that if that's what the Civ directors decide we're able to do, or if that's what they suggest. Oh, it looks like we're limited to about 155 kilometers an hour, because we're not going any faster than that. we should probably start slowing down because, actually, I'll leave it on idle and then I'll start slowing down in a little bit because our speed limit's going to drop down to about 81 miles an hour, it looks like. All right, I'm gonna start braking now. Go level 2 braking. There we go, perfect. We are right to the speed we need to be at. And actually, I'm gonna start braking. I'm gonna keep minimal braking on a little bit longer. Just because of we need to start slowing down here anyways. But again, we're gonna be a little bit behind schedule, is my guess, but it's worth it. It's gonna be worth it anyways, just because of the way everything goes. After this, I might actually wrap up the stream and just get on and do a little bit of towing. I wanted to get on and do a short little stream for you guys here, basically saying, hey, yes, I'm still around, and give you guys a little bit of Train Sim World content as well, because I've been very much enjoying doing this route, and it's been a while since I've done some Train Sim World stuff in general. I haven't really been playing this game much because I started getting bored of the routes that I was doing on there, because it was just basically going back and forth at different times of day. There was no other routes that were interesting, that were like, that gave you a different timetable, that put you on like a different stretch of track or something. It's just going back and forth on the exact same section of track, and then maybe occasionally you'll go to a different part of the track. But honestly, I like this. I like this as well. Same kind of train. There's a lot of different routes you can do. I mean, yeah, a lot of it's going to be exactly the same, but at least here, it's something new. It's different scenery. Scenery I've never seen before. All right, we're about 30 seconds behind schedule, but that's fine. Unscenery. Oh, God. Yeah, unscenery. There it is. But yeah, I'll probably get on and do some towing here after I'm done with this route, because this route is, I only have 3 more stops after this route, and then I'll switch over and do a little bit of towing for a bit, just to see how things go. See if people are going to be smarter more in the afternoon. But like I said, I might move over to Twitch here, depending on how soon we finish this. Alright. We lock the doors now. We're about 30 seconds behind schedule, but that's fine. They get smart at nighttime because that's when the little kids go to bed. Oh, I would beg to defer. A lot of people, I've had a lot of chaos happen, especially just last night. Like I said, I had to take like 4 or 5 different clips because people were just being dumb and not being realistic around tow when they get towed by me. Like, I understand you're mad you got your vehicle towed, but that's still not a reason to go up to them at gunpoint and demand to know where your car went. Because going forward, if people are just going to start shooting at me, I'm just not going to tell them where. If people are just going to start being violent towards me when I tow their vehicle, I'm not going to tell them where I take it to. If you want to know where your car's at, stay calm, be calm. Don't pull a weapon on me, and yeah, I'll tell you exactly where your vehicle went. But if you're going to come up to me after I tow your vehicle, guns out, aiming it at me, and demanding me to tell you exactly where I took your vehicle at, no, you're not going to get anything from me. That's how I'm going to do it going forward. If people cannot be smart and actually be realistic around tow, they don't deserve to know where I'm taking their vehicles at. It's not just little kids that this issue applies to. It's also people who are probably around my age, and it's also older people too. It's people who want to play, like I said, people who want to play GTA Online, but at the same time, they want to be able to play with they want to be able to drive around real world vehicles and just shitlord. That's literally what that is. That's literally why they do what they do. That is absolutely the exact reason why they do what they do, because they want to be shitlords while they're driving the real world vehicles, like driving like a Silverado or a freaking Ford Focus or like some random Lamborghini supercar or some shit. Or it's like, yeah. Or it's like, I've even called people out for prioritizing gunplay over roleplay and be like, hey, there's plenty of other things you can do rather than be an e-gangster 24/7. And they're like, oh, and then they always retaliate being like, oh, well, you don't always have to be an e-tow truck driver 24/7. Like, it's ridiculous. And I'm sorry I'm doing the rant here on this live stream, but I felt that needs to be said. It's like everybody, or not everybody, let me rephrase that. A good majority of people on 5M are just on there to be an e-gangster. They're not there to actually roleplay. They're there to just be an e-gangster, guns blazing, shooting everybody no matter the reason. There's absolutely no reason why people should be prioritizing gunplay over roleplay. All right, let's lock the doors. Like, I wish more servers. In the perfect server for me would be a server that doesn't immediately allow people to get firearms out of the way. There would be like they would have to go get a gun license, and it would be a rigorous gun test. And it would be like you would have to apply in like maybe like a Google form or something, and basically explain why you want a gun, and if it has to do with anything about being a part of a gang, you wouldn't get the weapons license, because the gun licenses, in a perfect world on a perfect 5M server, the gun licenses would be only for protection, not for just going around shooting up people like an e-gangster. Like I said, they would be there simply for your protection. And then the server would also be realistic to the point where you're not getting gunshots every 5 seconds. I mean, yeah, it's a problem in Los Angeles, which is what Los Santos is based off of, but in econ server that makes more sense. Criminals could also just steal them. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you are right there. In economy servers that makes sense, but in like a V-menu server too, it's like you would need to pass a rigorous gun safety test, and then you would have to pass a rigorous just test in general to determine whether you're fit to be carrying a firearm. And if you're showing signs of potentially prioritizing gunplay over actual roleplay, then you're not going to get your gun license. It's as simple as that. And in a perfect 5M server, gunplay would not be prevalent. Gunplay over roleplay would not be prevalent. Just go shut the entire. Oh, well, hopefully staff took care of that. But that was not legit. I do miss being a part of SATRP, but honestly, there was just too many issues on the police side of things that I definitely would prefer to not go back and have to re-experience all of that crap. I'm glad I switched over to Riverside, because Riverside is better, at least on the towing side of thing. I'm not going to do police over here because police is absolute chaos. I could care less about the police side over there. But if I ever go back to SATRP, I'm not going to be cop there. I'm just absolutely not going to be cop on SATRP. I'll just come back and I'll keep doing my towing like I normally did. At least here on at least on Riverside, they actually do. Yeah, at least Riverside takes the violent encounters. They take that seriously, because you have to. There has to be a passive encounter for 2 minutes prior to violence. I found our Riverside roleplay and stayed. It was my first RP server. Yeah, my first one, I can't remember. I think my first one was Big City Roleplay. I've been through a lot of different 5M servers over the years, but Riverside, as long as I stay with the towing side of things, everything should be fine. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's down to user preference what server you play on too. I'm not going to shit on people because they found a server they like. It's just like everyone has their preference for a 5M server, and that's just how it is. Like, in fact, actually, the first server was SATRP and still is. Yep. I mean, here's the other thing. I believe I was looking last night, and I'm pretty sure today is my 1 month anniversary of first joining Riverside Roleplay. Either that or it's my 1 month anniversary of joining DOT, one of the two. Think about going to a 5PD server. Yeah, me and Carnes from SATRP were gonna start a 5PD server for us to screw around on, to get away from all the shitty roleplay that was on SATRP, but we never actually got that fully up and running. Because I ended up leaving SATRP because I was just getting reported left and right. And the reports they were getting, that last report that I had on me in BCSL on SATRP, it was a vague report that they took, despite it being so vague. Like, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I almost wanted to go out there. I had to stop myself from wanting to go off on them, saying, if the report was so vague, then why did you take it? And I was thinking they're being intentionally vague to see if I remembered what scene it was. All right, is this my last stop coming up? Okay, yes it is. So after this, we'll wrap up, and then Nathan, I'll come on into the DOT chat and do some towing, and we'll see if people want to be smart around tow. 5 days and it'll be your 1 month anniversary. Nice. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I'm gonna start slowing down hardcore here. Actually, I do need to start slowing down. I did need to start slowing down pretty quick because the speed limit was dropping anyway. All right, let's start slowing down again. I'll start a timer once you start the tow stream on Riverside Roleplay. Yeah, I'm probably going to start that around 2 o'clock. So in about 20 minutes or so. And we'll see how long it takes for somebody to be stupid as to me and just be violent towards me when I'm on as DOT. In fact, it looks like we're going to be mostly on time here, which is good. Yeah, we're going to be on time. I'm not too worried about that. Anniversary, month anniversary. I prefer it because calling a monthly event sounds wrong, but it still technically is. Yeah, it's still. But hey, ever since I came over here, I've been very happy. I've been very happy with making that server switch. I got myself out of a server that I really wasn't enjoying and I was having issues with anyways. All right. Unload passengers. But yeah, you are right about that. So yeah, guys, shorter stream here on YouTube, but I'm going to go over on Twitch here momentarily. And yeah, we'll probably go on and we'll do some towing over on Twitch. See what happens over there on Twitch. And basically go from there. I'm going to switch to my headset mic because I would prefer to use my headset mic. I've been using my studio mic here for this YouTube stream. But for the 5M streams, oh yeah, look at that. Gold star again. We are good. But yeah, as you guys can see, oh, actually, you guys can see, I've played this game for 2 hours now. And I have a total playtime of 44 hours. But yeah, that'll do it here. Go over to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/4manlive here in about 15 minutes for the next stream here today. You guys are going to get 2 streams today. So stay tuned for that. I'll be live on Twitch in about 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. We'll see though.